Hello. Today's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna set up Vtube Studio and OBS so you can get things running and working on side of Linux. I'll be using Linux Mint for this example, but this can be done on pretty much any distro. Some of the menus just going to look a little different. The ideas are going to be there all the same. This is a fresh install of Linux Mint I've got on my laptop here. We need to install OBS and we need to install Steam. So when it comes to the software center, software manager, most software things are going to look mostly the same. Inside of here, we're going to search up for OBS. Now, what's important with OBS, you might be able to install this in two different ways. There's the Flatpak version and the system package version. The system package version, depending on your distro, isn't officially maintained by OBS themselves, which means it's kind of put together by people who aren't the OBS team. So any support for it is not guaranteed. But the Flatpak version, which is the universal version, which is available on all distros. And for this example, it's going to make it way easier to install some of the plugins that we need. So I would highly recommend Flatpak, especially if you're new. And again, your store might look a little different on your system, but there should still be an option to choose Flatpak. If you see Flatpak system or Flatpak user, just know the differences. Flatpak system means it's going to be installed for every user on the system, but Flatpak user just means it's going to be installed just for you. If you're just one person on your system, which is the most people, just install the user version, just because it's easier that way. But we're going to just click install and just press continue. These are just all the things that it needs to get this to work. So we're going to press OK. Whilst we're waiting for this to install, we're also going to go grab Steam. Now Steam, like I was saying earlier with Flatpak and system, I would highly recommend using the system version of Steam. First of all, the Flatpak version isn't officially maintained by Valve. And second of all, the Flatpak version is designed to be contained. So it might not be able to pick up on all your games. Networking could cause issue on some games and other issues might slightly arise. I would highly recommend the system package version. So we're just going to make sure we install this. Now, if it's a system package, it will require your password. So type in your password, and these are both installing. Steam has installed, so we're just going to open up Steam real quick. And first time we run it, it's going to do these Steam runtime things and set off another download. Okay, it looks like Steam is installed, so I'm just going to log in real quick and I'll be right back. Now, in older versions of Steam, like previously, like a couple of months ago, you would have to manually set up Proton at this point, but Steam actually does that by default now. So you don't even need to set it up. All we need to do is make sure we install our Vtube Studio. So let's just run and press install on that. Install to local drive. And I'm also going to install VBridger because I'm going to show setup for that as well. Okay, so it looks like our OBS is downloaded, but before we open it up, we need to install one plugin. Now, luckily, installing plugins is super easy via Flatpak, especially if you've got a GUI store. On Cinnamon, we just need to click on this optional components tab, and we need to look for a plugin called OBS VKCapture. So we can see it right here. So what this is going to allow us to do is to capture with transparency, which is otherwise missing from OBS. So this will allow us to capture our model with transparency, so we don't have to wonder with green screens. So we're just going to click add, and that's going to start installing for us. Now on Cinnamon, it's just down here. If you're on a GNOME-based system within the GNOME desktop environment, on the OBS page, similarly in the GNOME store, you just need to scroll down. And if you're on a KDE-based system and you're on the Discover store, there should be an add-ons button at the top of the Discover store, which you just need to click on, and it'll bring up the same list of options here. Obviously, if there's any others you want to install, feel free to add them. You can just click on them in here. Then we also need to install VKCapture for Steam so they can talk to each other. We will need to type in one thing in the terminal, but this will be the only thing we need to type in for this whole process. Unless you're on an Arch-based system. If you're on an Arch-based system, you can search this up on the AUR. So we need to go to this GitHub page, and I'll leave this linked in the description. You can see here, for capturing outside Flatpak runtime, you need build native, regardless of if you are using Flatpak OBS or not. Basically, because our OBS is a Flatpak and our Steam is a system package, we need to install OBS, the VKCapture as a system package alongside. But luckily, it's very easy. So we need to install a couple of extra dependencies to make sure our VKCapture is installed for Steam as well. So we need to type in sudo libobs-dev, enter our password, libgl1, that's my bad. So I'll leave that install as a copy and paste in the description. So you just need to copy that and paste it. So once we've done that, those dependencies, we need to come to this link down in the description, and we need to click on up here where it says code and press download zip. I'm going to open that up, right click, extract here, go into that folder, right click, open in terminal. So this is going to open up a terminal window inside of that folder. So it's just looking at everything. Then we need to come down to where it says building down here. Just click the copy button, and Control-Shift-V will copy that into the terminal. So if you're copying into the terminal, Control-Shift-V instead of just the regular Control-V. Now what that's going to do is going to install the VK for us. We need to make sure we do this with a sudo in front of it. There we go. So I'll make sure I'll leave a command down below to install the dependencies. And then you just need to make sure when you copy and paste in the thing from the website, you need to make sure you have a sudo before at the very beginning, and then a sudo again after the double question mark. So that will build it for you. Now, before we go into Vtube Studio, what we're going to do is set up VKCapture to know which game it needs to look out for. So we need to go to Properties in Steam, right-click Vtube Studio, click Properties. Then inside of this launch options, we need to type in OBS-game capture, and then we need to do percent command percent. So basically what that's going to do is tell VKCapture that this game is one of the options it can look for. So we're just going to open up Vtube Studio. Again, we've not set up Proton or anything, and it should just launch straight away. Okay, because I've signed into Steam on the second account, it's locked me out of Steam on my main, so my model is currently out of commish. Whilst we set this up, I'm just going to load up one of the default models. But the big problem that you're going to come across right now is the fact that by default, Vtube Studio will not be able to pick up your camera. That is a limitation of how Proton works, in the fact that it does not understand what a webcam is at all. So it can't pick up your webcam and give it to Vtube Studio. But luckily, there's a very easy way we can get through this. So I will be going over how to set up the 3 ways to connecting getting your tracking to work. The first is through a camera, which by default won't be super active and easy. And then we're going to go over by connecting your phone directly to Vtube Studio through the Vtube Studio mobile app. And then we're going to be doing the VBridger connection. So that will be your phone to VBridger to Vtube Studio if you have a VBridger capable model. So first of all, we're going to do the camera because it's not super easy. So first of all, we're going to press Alt-Enter, and that can take us out of full screen mode. We'll just minimize it for now. And the first thing we're going to do is right-click, Manage, and then we want to go to Browse Local Files. Yeah, we'll go to Vtube Studio Data, then to Streaming Assets. Obviously, If you wanted to drag your model in, you'd put it into the Live 2D models area. But at this screen right here, we want to create a new empty document and call it ip.txt. Oh, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. txt. And put that there. And then what we're going to do is just open that up. Inside of here, we just want to type in ip equals 0.0.0 and press enter on a new line. Then we type in port equals 11573 and then just save that. So I just press Control S to save. So this means in the future, just make sure this says 4 zeros and not 3. My bad. And we will need to install one more program. So once we've got the ip.txt file set up, we need to come back to our software center and we need to type in face tracker. You should see this little app here with this little red TV icon, and we want to press install on this one as well. So basically this is going to act as the middleman. So it's going to take our face tracker, is going to take our camera and send that information to that little txt file, that ip.txt file we made, which Vtube Studio will read as our camera. Okay, so face tracker has been installed, so we can just launch this through our start menu, search for it. We just get this tiny little app, so just make sure this is selected to your webcam. I'm just using my built-in webcam. Tracking settings, just make sure this is at the correct resolution for your webcam. Again, I got a tiny ass webcam. And depending on your computer, you know, change which you probably want to stick with default, but if things get a bit laggy, you can tone this down a little bit. Server settings, you can see this is 0000 we had made in that text file, and the port number is the same. So once that's ready, we can just press this little button up here. It looks like, because my webcam is showing up in here twice, I was selected on the wrong one. So I have just selected the right one. And now you can see this little preview window that we have the track. Oh, make sure not to close out of face tracker. But now you can see that this version is now tracking me, and we're moving the model. You just got to make sure that you don't close face tracker. Then over here, you select your webcam like you would normally. Face tracker is just passing that tracking information onto Vtube Studio for you, and you can Vtube just using your webcam like normal. Now I'm going to set up my phone to track as well. Setting up the tracking for phone is the exact same as you would on Windows. So we're just going to click Start Server, then go to the Vtube Studio app on your phone. In the Vtube Studio app on your phone, you just want to click on the settings icon and go to the Stream to PC Wi-Fi and copy in your computer's IP address and the port number. The other IP address is pretty easy. And you just go to your network settings. For me, I'm on wired right now. So it should be the 1.168.1.something. And again, similarly on KDE and GNOME, you can just click on your little network icon in your tray, and it'll take you to your IP address. And again, we just want to make sure the port is the same as this one here by default. It's 25565. Click Start Server. Click Connected on my phone. And now you can see we're moving on the phone. This is on my Android. My iPhone set up for my actual model, which just crashed because I've got Vtube Studio open on this laptop. You get the point. This does work on Android. This works on iPhone too, just fine. Now, if you have a problem with your phone connecting to your computer at this stage, like the numbers are definitely correct, the IP address is definitely correct, and the port is definitely correct, you will need to check your firewall settings. I know for a fact on CachyOS this is the case. This might be the case on other distros too, that the firewall is set by default to not allow any traffic between devices. I would not advise turning it off if that's the default on your system. What you can do is go to your firewall settings distro, and now this is going to look a little bit different in every distro. If the firewall is on, we want to come to the rules section here and click add. Then once we're here, once we're in preview, we want to swap over to simple. Just give it the name. So we want Vtube Studio, policy to allow, direction in and out, protocol in and out. And then you just want to put in the port number from Vtube Studio. So whatever this number is, you might have changed it, whatever it is by default. Just copy and paste that number into the port number here. Now that should fix the connection. And this might look a little bit different depending if you're on GNOME or KDE. If that is the case, just quickly look up how to allow a rule in KDE firewall or allow rule in GNOME firewall. That should allow you to set up that connection block. Lastly, we're going to set up VBridger. Again, this is mostly going to be the same as it is on Windows, but I just want to show you that it does work. So just going to make sure we set up here. I'm using the Vtube Studio app. If you use one of the other apps, you can place it in here. Make sure we get the IP address of our phone, which can be found in your phone's Wi-Fi settings. So I'm just opening up the app now that I've got the IP address in. So I'm also holding up my phone with my hand. So on your phone, you want to make sure that you are on the Vtube Studio app. You need to go to the settings and go all the way to the bottom of the settings to third-party clients and turn that on for VBridger. I forgot to do that. So it's not connecting for me. And this is a very easy fix. That'll be because of the firewall. So now if you encounter a similar problem, you need to go to your firewall settings. So your numbers are definitely correct. And your IP address is correct, the port's correct. See, my firewall is on. So we need to come over to the rules section. And what we need to do is add a new rule. Come over to simple. I'm going to take this VBridger, policy allow, direction both, protocol both. We want to type in our port here. So the port for VBridger, if we come up to settings in VBridger, so we want the Vtube Studio port, which is, so we can just copy the number from the Vtube Studio port here to here, press add. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit laggy and it's a bit all over the place. Again, my laptop's not great, but it is capturing. Now we just need to make sure we've got it set over in Vtube Studio. So in Vtube Studio, you just need to click on this one, and then we click on connect here on VBridger. You get the little pop-up to allow connect, and we can get again, forgive the lagginess of this laptop, but you can see the tracking is working, it is connecting, and you can get the 3 easy ways: the webcam, the phone direct to Vtube Studio, and then also VBridger all work on Linux. Now we've done that, we need to just quickly show you how to get this all set up inside of OBS. The first thing we're going to do is just change our background. So go here and come down to where is it? We want to come down to color picker and press OK for our background. We can press not show this again. I just set this to black. This color doesn't actually matter. Just black for me, just so it's not burning my eyes whenever I open it. And we just want to make sure we click on transparent capture down here. Easy enough. Then we're going to open up our OBS, and then we're going to add source. And then we're going to find game capture. Now, if you don't see game capture in here, we need to go back and make sure that you installed the VKCapture plugin from this when we installed OBS. We're going to just call this VTuber. It's okay. Press any window, and then we can again make sure Vtube Studio.exe is ticked and allow transparency. You can see the background here of the model. You can see that the transparency activate. Now again, if you don't see Vtube Studio written here, check the launch options to make sure you have OBS game capture %command% typed in correctly, and also make sure that you installed VKCapture to your system as well as the plugin for OBS. Double check that both of those things worked properly, and then you'll be able to see the game the Vtube Studio here as well. And then you can do this, and we can see that the model is fully yet. And just to prove that it is transparent, I'm just going to add a color source here. Ignore my EU spelling for color source, and if we just bring that down, you can see that the model is definitely behind it. Well, definitely in front of it, should I say. And then in terms of settings for OBS inside of Linux, you just set this up exactly the same way you would on Windows. Any other OBS guide setting up OBS. You get your Twitch like normal. All these settings should be mostly the same. I plan on this being like the first video in a series of Linux streaming videos. This is setting up the model plus OBS for just to get started. But I want to do some stuff for Stream Decks because I have those and I want to show options for that. And maybe some more other things that I have set up specifically for stream in detail. So if you want to watch those, you can like and subscribe. This I've recorded for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and this video is probably about 20. So again, if any of these steps haven't worked for you, rewatch the video and make sure everything's set up properly. Again, most of these steps should be pretty universal. If you're on a distro and some things look a little bit different, just again check firewall for your specific distro where that might be. But I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.